This video brought to you by ozfence.store.
Matt, what are you doing?
Oh, hey, what's up, Mark? I am standing on the new incoming pallets. We have 4 brand new pallets filled to the brim with our new tie system. These are easy ties, and hopefully they're going to replace the Stone Age stick tie. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm kind of going through the pallets right now and checking out what we got, making sure that we got everything we ordered. And I guess while you're here, we could take a look at what exactly this is and how it is pretty sweet. Okay, well, now that you haven't caught me off guard, Mark, let's go ahead and talk about what we're doing here with this Easy Tie system. These are the chucks to the Easy Ties. There is a 9-gauge chuck and an 11-gauge chuck. And if you're not sure, or if you've never seen these before, these are meant to replace wire ties on chain link fence. They're super easy. You pretty much just pop them over either the top rail or the post, and then you're left with the two little ends here, and this chuck can just go into pretty much any, battery operated drill. It's going to go inside of the chuck, and then as you spin it, it tightens, easy ties the actual tie around the chain link and the post or pipe. So really cool concept. Here at Ozark Fence, we really haven't used them much, but we see others using them and thought, you know what, let's take a look at what these are. And yeah, I'm pretty impressed so far. Let's hop over to the shop real quick and we'll kind of do a demonstration of how to install these and what they're kind of about. So we've got this gate right here behind me, and this is going to demonstrate how the Easy Ties are going to work. First, I've got some very old Stone Age type stick ties. This is probably something that everybody in the fence industry is familiar with, and these are just the old way of doing it. Let me go ahead and demonstrate how much of a pain in the butt it is using these. So first, we'd have to put our hook on, and then we have to get it wrapped around manually with some pliers. And depending upon what pliers you have, it can be kind of difficult. I'm using some welding pliers, and that is my preference because, well, I'm a welder, I guess, but it's something that I've always used. If I was going to be doing a bunch of 9-gauge ties though, I probably would switch to a good pair of fencing pliers. These are nice because they have the long needle nose, and that's helpful, at least to me, but yeah. As you can see, it's kind of a pain in the butt. Now, as you can see, this is just a very small demonstration with a small gate. So a gate like this would only get maybe 3 or 4 ties per rail. Now, is it the end of the world if you have to use these stick ties on something this small? No, probably not. But you can really see where this might get really drawn out and tedious if you were putting up, let's say, 1,000 foot of fence, and you had maybe 2 or 3 guys trying to go back and use stick ties to tie it all together. That might be really time consuming. In fact, I can tell you, it is very time consuming. And in all honesty, after a while, your hands are gonna start to cramp. And especially if it's hot out and it's cooking outside, you're gonna be having some muscle cramps in your arms and hands if you do a whole bunch of these. Let's get these things up off this gate and let's get on with the Easy Ties. So now we're on to the Easy Ties. And really, I can kind of see this being like a 2-part system, or if it's one guy doing this, I would probably go ahead and pop these on first all over the gate or the fence, and then go back with my drill and chuck and tighten them all down. So it's kind of the same thing, right? The stick ties and the pliers versus the Easy Ties and the drill. But I think you'll see that this is going to be much easier. So we pretty much pop them on the back side here, and we're wanting to, just like in the other stick tie, we're making sure that the chain link is smushed down onto whatever we're putting it on. So that's pretty painless right there. And that's about the extent of any sort of muscle movement that I'm gonna need to do, other than maybe pinching these tight. And really, they're not difficult to pinch at all. I'll show you here. That required very minimal effort to do that. And here we have a chuck. This just mounts into any little battery operated drill, like I said. And they make a couple of different sizes. This one is for 11 gauge ties. And then they also make one that's a tiny bit different in size for the 9 gauge. So really all we're gonna do now is we're going to pinch the ends of these. We're going to put the chuck down into them. Just like so, and then we're gonna pull the trigger. And as you can see, it does a really good job of twisting these up and getting the chain link tight to the top rail. The only thing I could see is at the end here where it's twisted, it looks like these may come off or may not, I don't know. Looks like sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, but you really do want to pay attention to where this twist is and where it's sticking out. For example, if you're doing it on a gate, you wouldn't want it facing out towards somebody walking by that could potentially hit it. But that's kind of true with the stick ties too anyway. So really not that big a deal. Let's go ahead and do this last one. Super quick and easy. So yeah, there you go. Pretty painless. And yeah, I could see why people really like these. Definitely very easy compared to trying to use the stick ties and the pliers. I think overall these are really cool. A couple of things to note is you can't just buy these and not buy the chuck. You definitely have to have the chuck, and I'm not sure how much it costs, but it looks to be like a one-time use, like a pair of pliers would be. And once you have the chuck, then it's just a matter of continuing to buy the system of the easy ties here. And the other thing too is with stick ties, you have pretty much just a couple of options as far as lengths go. So if you wanted to do a whole fence run, top rail and post included, you'd have to bring with you a couple of different lengths of stick ties to be able to get the ties around some of the bigger posts. Well, the same kind of applies for these. They have different sizes. The radius that is pre-bent into these is specific to what it's meant to go on to. So these are 1 5/8". We currently have stocked, at least what I could see back there, 1 5/8". It looks like 1 7/8 or 2 inch. Also 2 3/8, and we might even have some 3 inch back there, I'm not sure, but definitely have all the different sizes that you would need to do any sort of a chain link job. And we have them in 11 gauge and 9 gauge, just like we would stick ties. Hopefully this quick video got you interested in going over to ozfence.store and checking out our massive supply of these easy ties. It is definitely the 21st century. Get with it. Stick ties are a thing of the past. Move to this very simple and quick way of tying chain link to your fence. You can find these available right now on our store at ozfence.store. And if you have any comments or questions, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Let us know what you think of these. Do you like them? Have you used them before? What are some drawbacks? What are some things that I didn't mention that you could help us in the comments? Let us know. Appreciate you watching.